I'm Bambi Francisco with Vader News, and I'm continuing my discussion with Scott Painter. He's the founder of ZAG. Scott, thanks for sticking around.
Thanks.
We're talking about the auto industry and the problems of the current way cars are being purchased. And you think that there is a problem with the way cars are being bought today?
Well, I think there's a true retail revolution occurring. I think that the way that cars are sold is fundamentally shifting because dealers are looking for customers in all new ways. And it really stems from the fact that customers are shopping differently than they ever have. So the car industry is 100 years old, and customers for 100 years have been walking into their local dealership and saying, give me a brochure, tell me about the car, is it good? And it turns out that, you know, we can thank Henry Ford. The car is good. All cars are good. They're made on a production line, they're consistent, they're predictable, they're reliable, they're durable, and most customers today get their information via the web. So when they get into the dealership, it's no longer, give me a product brochure. Now it's, what's my price on package 13G? You know, and so it really does come down to a price negotiation, which really reflects the fact that the car is becoming more of a commodity than ever before. And the way that commodities are sold and really markets commoditize is through transparency, and that is the ultimate application of the web. I mean, that is the true promise of the internet, is the power of information to level inefficiencies in markets. And so we're excited that we're really, you know, part of that inflection point. I see that, you know, the economy shifting is having a catalytic effect on dealers going out of business, and it's getting a lot of inefficiency out of the business. The winners, the dealers that win in this game are going to be the dealers that are able to control their costs, find customers, provide an upfront price, and it implies, by the way, if it's an upfront price, that it be a good upfront price. Because if you say I'm selling a Prius for $40,000 and everyone knows it's a $30,000 Prius, you're not going to sell very many. So an upfront price is a great check and balance in the system. Dealers who embrace it are going to win. Dealers who hold back and try to revolve on the or focus on the price optimization per customer and the obfuscation of price are going to lose. They're going to go out of business, and they're going to go out of business more quickly now than ever before. So it is really a revolution. It's all to the benefit of the consumer and the dealer who actually embraces it.
Okay. But your bet is that with services like yours, more dealerships will go out of business.
Well, I actually look at it the other way. The dealerships we partner with will thrive. So if you look at sort of what should the dealership landscape really look like, what's really efficient out there, I don't know what the right number is. I'm from Los Angeles, but we've got, you know, over 200 Ford stores in Southern California, all selling the same F-150. There are 60 Toyota stores, the paragon of efficiency. I don't know how many Toyota stores you need, but it's probably closer to 9. I mean, that would give you a Toyota store within 20 miles of every every location in Southern California. And at the same time, you know, you wouldn't have this sort of competition between the dealers for the customers. You would have much more efficient showrooms, you would have much more efficient lots, and you would have a much better margin for the dealer. So I think there has to be a realignment of the entire business. You're going to go through a bit of pain. Some dealers are going to need to get out of the business in order for the dealers that are going to remain to survive and thrive. And I do believe that we happen to be one of the few companies that are in a position to reallocate where that market share goes. So we're in an exciting spot in that we do control the customer at the beginning of the conversation as opposed to sort of waiting for them to walk in the door.
What do you think about government bailouts for the auto industry?
I think it's horrible. I think that markets are supposed to act rationally. I think part of the reason that we have a problem with the auto business is that we have unions, we have franchise laws, we have a protectionistic system that prevents market forces, supply and demand, from doing their job. And the reality is 43,000 dealers is not a market reality. The reason you have 43,000 dealers is because the franchise system was built on the idea that, boy, we can sell more franchises, we can get more footprint out there, we can have more service revenue, and they just sort of never had a way to sort of rein that in. Today, if you look at what happens in the case of a bankruptcy, is you get rid of a whole bunch of really creepy things that prevent the car business from actually behaving rationally. One that has nothing to do with auto retail, but I think that is equally important, is when the price of fuel spiked 100%, there was a permanent shift in consumer preference for cars that get better gas mileage, you know, point blank. And the American car companies, General Motors, Ford, and Chrysler, really had not prepared their product lineup to match that shift, that radical shift, that very, very, you know, immediate response in consumer preference. And as a result, you're going to have some time where those companies have to go back and retool the line. They have to build new product. That's an 18 to 24-month cycle. So they just don't have the product in the lineup today. And what that means is they've got all these huge investments in manufacturing SUVs. And they've shut down those plants. Well, what are they going to do with those huge investments? It's going to kill them. So one of the great things about a bankruptcy, and this is one dimension of about 20 that really matter for the car business, is you get to write off, you get to get rid of those legacy investments that are no longer applicable. And they couldn't necessarily have predicted this, but they were caught flat-footed, certainly by comparison to Toyota and Honda and Nissan and some of their competition.
Right. Well, you're innovating not really to help them, though, but at least to help the consumer.
I think we are innovating to help them. I think that what we're doing is absolutely the key to success for the auto industry. We're bringing transparency, which is absolutely important. We're bringing an upfront price, and we're bringing customers. Right now, if you're a dealer, you're struggling. You're looking for customers, and we've got people who are ready to buy cars. But what they expect in this environment is a great upfront price and a better experience than a dealer who plays ball.
Well, I've always said Washington should look to Silicon Valley or LA or innovation to kind of solve their problems as opposed to bailing out the Detroit.
I think the free market is
I believe
pretty good.
Too.
Pretty good solution.
Great. Thanks, Scott.
You bet.
I've been speaking with Scott Painter. He's the founder of ZAG. I'm Bambi Francisco.